Oh, wow, you can share your screen with your, let me see. Okay, let's see. Let's check the sound setting here. Uh, close that. Okay, I'm not sure if you all can hear me. I am hoping that you can. I'm hoping that you can hear testing, testing. Let's see. Testing, testing, testing. There we go. Okay. All right. Thank you for watching. What is this right here? Okay. So I'm going to go ahead. I know I'm showing up as live on YouTube. Okay. I am here. Okay. And if you are a subscriber, you will be able to, yeah, I think you have to be a subscriber for at least 20 minutes before you can contribute to the chat. Okay. I believe that you can do reactions. Let's see if it'll let me do it. Yeah. I just did a few myself there. Okay. Nice. So I'm going to play. I did a little 15-minute, or should I say 14.5 minute live on my fan base. Okay. And on my fan base, it's a very new platform. I'm not really familiar with it and how to use it. I don't really see a lot of traction there. So I'm going to go ahead and play it, and I'm hoping that you all will be able to hear it. So bear with me. Okay. Fan base, thank you for watching here on Fan Base at the Narc Detective. I know the screen is blacked out and I am just playing with it for a little bit. I don't know if I'm going to complete this live here. I'm playing with the various different platforms that I have. Stay tuned for more active lives and shorts and things like that. Um, I also am on TikTok. I'm on Lemonade. I'm on the Clapper, and I'm on YouTube. Okay, so you all might want to check those out. You'll find them under Blooming Light and excuse me, the Narc Detective and Dark Harlequin. So, anywho, not gonna get too deep in that. So, this is what I want to talk about. All right, and hey, this is social media. So, if what I'm talking about is not for you and you're not jiving with, it's okay. All right, it's okay. Let me see something here. I just want to check something out here. Bear with me. I'm trying to see what my options are here. Yeah, this is new. Okay, so I'm African American, melanated, whatever you want to call it. And I do share a lot of content about various different topics. I'm a survivor of narcissistic abuse. I'm someone that's a targeted individual on an ascension path, single mother of an adult differently able young man who's gifted. And, the list goes on and on. Okay. Betrayed by our very own, and on and on and on and on and on, in a very sadistic, kind of cruel kind of way. All right, I'm not saying that for nobody to break out the violin. I'm just trying to give some context to who I am and why I discuss some of the things that I discuss. Okay, this particular discussion is to do with romance and love and the melanated culture for the African American melanated woman and the brainwashing and conditioning that we have been indoctrinated into from the beginning with struggle love and accepting bare minimum, accepting nothing, in some cases abuse, and just this you should just be happy someone want to be with you energy. So be spiritual, be godly, be submissive, be quiet, be of service, right? And anytime that we have an exaggerated emotion, is called the angry Black woman. Anytime that we have expectation, it's called gold digging. Anytime that we want to opt into a more feminine role, we're called lazy and lacking motivation. But in other cultures, it's the standard. When Caucasians and other nationalities, these women, when they're upset and the tantruming, it's expected and accepted. And it is not frowned upon as mental illness. It is not frowned upon as them being difficult. And it's expected. It's okay because after all, like on the old movie, White Chicks, I am a white woman. You know what I'm saying? After all, right? When they, have expectations, it's not looked at that way. They're not automatically looked at as some kind of gold digger. When they want to opt into a more feminine role, they're not classified and looked at as lazy and lacking motivation. And when they decide to, leave or to take somebody to the bank for cheating, it's not looked upon as, oh, that's cold, What is this? I want to look at it. I want to discuss it. I want this to come to the forefront. Why is that? Just like with being African American, there's this undertone of you're supposed to be entertaining all the time. That you're supposed to be making jokes. You're supposed to be the loud or the obnoxious one. You're supposed to be the religious zealot, neck rolling, eye popping. You're supposed to be the ones that are putting up with cheaters. And it just, what is that? Yet, kind of humiliated for lack of femininity, but not given the same conditions that everyone else is being given. Struggle. We're supposed to accept the struggle with the least amount of benefit. I know women that died. Listen to me. They were devout Christians. They were raised in church. They ended up in ministry and spent majority of their adult life in ministry. And they got married and, and they helped to birth these men and these men's positions and titles and churches and congregations. And these women ended up getting all kinds of ailments that, in some cases, I know that they had people planning their energy and doing spell work, but that's for another video. Okay. The whole point is like they sacrificed their lives in the name of God, in the name of church, in the name of the ministry, and in the name of their husbands. And they're the ones that seem to have taken the brunt of it, though, their health and well-being. And I believe it's due to all the stuff that I'm talking about here, in part. And they died. And not even a year later, these men are married off to someone else. Someone else that was younger, totally different, but just in grinning and, you know what I'm saying? Is that justice? Some people may be under the illusion like, oh, that's honorable. Look at them, they died. And I don't look at it that way. I look at it like a tragedy. and a loss of a life, because some of them died young. You know, dying in your 60s, your early 60s, late 50s, early 60s, to me is still considered a little bit young. You know, I don't know if it was due to, you know, COVID or, you know, things like that. But the whole point that I'm making, it's like, wow. And then you see the pictures of these dudes that don't look like nothing ever happened to them. They didn't have it good because they didn't have people catering, while these women were stressing out and trying to please them. And as they aged and their body changed, and as they took on the weight and responsibility and had to deal with just, and I'm not saying these women were perfect. So, you know, that's another video too. But I'm definitely in the space and mind and place of evolving past all of that kind of brainwashing, programmings, contracts, whatever you want to call it. It ain't about perfection and unrealistic expectations. But I tell you what, I'm not going to be swallowing that when I see that other people in the world are being treated the way that I should be. So I'm not going to swallow that when I see that there are other cultures. It's like, so don't tell me it's unrealistic when it's happening. And I'm going to even go on a limb and even say sometimes it has nothing to do with appearances, because it's not like in all cases these people are necessarily more attractive than us. And that's very fluid and lucid, because a lot of the attractiveness is due to the being able to be in a position to care for yourself properly, to be in a position to be feminine. And see, people don't look at that either. It's like, yeah, attractiveness, especially as time continues on and you're living life and you're dealing with life, that requires an investment to be able to hold. So some of these women is because they spoiled and they have these white privileges and these other culture privileges or these colorism privileges or whatever the case may be. So they are in a position to be able to, which is the divine feminine's energy, to be able to sink into that, because there needs to be a sacred, safe space to be in receptive mode. And the purposes of a receptive mode is so that you can tap into your intuition, but also for self-care and self-love and self-nurturing and inner child and all of those things, right? So when you have someone well rested who is not being told that they need to be in struggle love and put the weight of the world on their back, yeah, after a while you're going to see, you see what I'm saying? That person in the same way. What the heck? So they're going to be more well kept in their nails and their feet and their, you know what I'm saying, their health even, because once again, they're being granted to have healthy partnerships in their lives. And it's not looked upon as they're lazy. I was watching some shows that I love, and these are Caucasian TV. And what I find funny, like these people can't handle nothing in these shows. They be bitching and moaning about shit that we have been carrying on our backs since forever. They don't know how to make a decision. They can't handle basic crises. You know what I'm saying? They need 5 people to handle basic shit. And these people were not looked at as lazy. They were not told that they lacked ambition. They were not told that they were gold digging. They're not told, they're not frowned upon as some kind of lollygagger good for nothing. What is this? And I'm not going to stay on here long because I don't see nobody here, because I don't know what the hell's going on with the fan base. But anyway, what is this with the melanated women and the African American culture where we got to be doing a trillion things. And if you ain't, traditionally, aesthetically pleasing and beautiful to whatever culture and subsect you're a part of, then the harder you're expected to have to work. Does that not sound familiar? Does that not sound like slavery? What is that? And then punishing and shaming the same women for being too masculine, for being too harsh, too hard, too aggressive. It's shenanigans, and I'm putting an end to it in my life. And I hope you do too. And understand that we can't bring everybody with us, and we may not be able to make everybody else see it that way, but just by way of you living and being and standing in that, this may very well influence and motivate other people. And this is how real change takes effect. All right. Okay, so again, I don't know if you all can hear me at all. Okay. I don't know if you all were able to hear that. I hope you were. I'm going to find out as soon as I end this live and go back into it. So I will see if you all are actually able to hear that entire thing. And if you did, please, let me know. How do y'all feel about all of that? What's your stance? What's your personal experience? And again, this is no right or wrong. This is not about that. This is self reflection. This is about us, expanding our consciousness, our understanding, and being willing to look at things and evaluate things. That this is how we evolve. Okay, this is how we grow. This is how we transform. This is how, this resistance to change is kind of why a lot of things is in the state of being that it's in. You know, um, And I just want to say, sure, there's a place for ritualisticness. There's a place for legalities. There's a place for keeping something. I can hear the phrase, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But sometimes things are broke. It's just that people have become comfortable with it being broke that they don't think it's broke. So that's why they say, why fix it? It's not until we are inconvenienced enough that our attention is gotten that to um, we start being willing to look at some things. And that's where healthy change began, right? It starts with us. It starts with honest assessments of that, starting with ourselves, then our places of origins, and then and from there. Okay. Okay, guys, appreciate y'all. If you all aren't able to hear this, I will redo this at a later time.